In this video, we'll add an event listener to change each clicked grid item background color. So what we've got is an empty JavaScript file. Now this script.js file is linked to this HTML document. And this same HTML document is also linked to an external style sheet, which pretty much has the same style that we've done in a previous video, where we basically just added some style when we hover over each grid item. So all of what effects you see at the moment is actually CSS. But what we want to do is we want that when we click on it, we want some effect to happen using JavaScript. And basically the only effect we want to do is change this background color. So that's what we're going to do. Now the HTML file hasn't got, we don't need to make any changes to the HTML file apart from just adding this line where we've linked this to an external JavaScript file. And you can see that we've got div elements that are associated with class item. And so the reason why I mentioned that is because we want to select all of these items, and we'll do that using the query selector all method. What we want to do is get all grid items using the query selector all method. So let's do that using document and dot query selector all. And we want to select the elements in the HTML document that have the class item. Let's close it off. So what happens here, this method will return a node list with all matching elements in the document that have the class item. Now we want to store the result in a constant, otherwise it's going to be lost. So let's put it in a constant, we call it items because that's going to come in as a collection of items. All right. So I'm just going to save and make sure that I haven't got any problems with the JavaScript file code that we've written. Next, we want to add an event listener to each item, to each grid item. And so what we want to do is we want to use a for each method to loop over each item in the node list. And then for each item in the items node list, a function is executed. So we're looping through the items, the collection, and then using the for each loop. And for each item, we are going to execute a function that we want to close off here at the end. Sorry, at the end. So the reason we close off here, the function, and we close off our loop. So for each item, that function is going to execute. Next, we want to add a click event listener to each grid item when clicked. And so what we'll do is we'll say item dot add event listener. And when we click on that item, we are going to execute a function. And I'm going to open and also close right here so that I don't forget to do that. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to toggle the presence of a class of an element. We haven't created that class yet, so let's go ahead and do that here. Add a new style for the clicked items. So for the item, when clicked, close. The only change that we want to do is change the background color of it. And let's see what colors we can go. And I'm thinking maybe something a bit greenish. Not sure if that's a very good call, but yeah, let's try it out. Okay, now let's apply that style. So we're going to do that using the toggle method, which toggles the presence of a class on an element. If the class is already present, it removes it. So if we click on it, it applies that style, and if, say it becomes green, and we click on it again, but it's already there, then it removes it. And if it's not present, it adds it. Let me show you what we mean by that. So item.class list dot, don't know what happened, but dot toggle. And here, basically, we're applying this class. Let's save and refresh and just make sure we haven't got anything. So when we click, oh, I'm sorry, that's a very greenish color. But what we're trying to say, if it is present, it adds it. But if the class is already present, it removes it. So that's the nice thing about that. You can click and unclick. I think the color's too harsh, too bright. I might want to sort of tone it down a little bit. So I'm not sure if that's a better color. It's slightly better. Maybe something yellow or something relevant. I don't know. I'll better leave it to you. But that's pretty much it. So we've added basically an event listener to change each clicked grid item background color. In this case, it's green. But the nice thing about it is that toggle method actually removes that class if it's already applied. So that's pretty much it for our video today. Hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.